Welcome to Lil Worldshakers Live. I am so excited to join you today, right in your home, in your car, wherever you are. I'm just glad you're here with us. I had so much fun last week dancing with you guys on our very first Zoom Live. Be sure to stay the full message today. Comment, chat with me in the comments below, and I will provide you with the link to our Zoom after party. And be sure to have your beach gear on. I'm going to change real quick before we jump into our Zoom after party. And we're going to have a whole beach vibe right from our home. Okay, today we are focusing on guidance and direction. Why do we need guidance and direction? Well, there's going to be many times in life where we know we're doing the right thing, but we just don't see the bigger picture. We just can't see how it's all connected to our bigger destiny, our bigger purpose. Today we are going to look at someone extremely special, but first I want to jump into this memory verse. Today's memory verse is Psalms 23:1. The Lord is my shepherd. Now, we've learned many names of God and how those names are who God is to us. But today we're going to look at how God is our shepherd. When you think of a shepherd, what do you think of? Sheep, right? Exactly. Just like a shepherd takes care of his sheep, just like a shepherd talks to his sheep and guides his sheep, is the same way God talks to us and looks after us and guides us. Now, there was someone special that we're going to look at today, known as David. But before we get into David, let's learn the name of God that means shepherd. Jehovah Roi, R-O-I, Jehovah Roi. This means the Lord is my shepherd. David also had a connection to being a shepherd. Now, David was the son of a man named Jesse. They lived in Bethlehem. But David had 7 other brothers. He had 8 boys in his family. And 3 of those brothers were officials in the army. They were soldiers for King Saul. But David had a different path. David had the job of looking after his father's sheep. David was a shepherd. But David was a really good shepherd. Every day he would guide the sheep. He would take them out into the land and find them green grass so they can eat however much they wanted. He would find them clean, clear water so they could drink healthy water. And when it was hot, David would take them into shady places. He always looked after his sheep to the best that he could. And the sheep knew David. They knew his voice. And David even sang to his sheep. When they were taking naps and lying in the shade, David would pull out his instrument. Today we call it a harp, but back then it was known as a lyre. David would play his lyre and he would sing to the sheep. Now David loved God, and he wrote many songs to worship God, to show God his love. One of the songs David sang went like this. The Lord is my shepherd. I have everything I need. He lets me rest near green pastures. He leads me to calm waters. He gives me new strength. This is from the book of Psalms 23, chapter 1 through 3. Now David sang to his sheep, he sang to God. He was a phenomenal shepherd. But one of the things that David did that was really unique is he faced lions and bears in order to protect his sheep. Not many of us would do that great of a job being a shepherd, but David took it seriously. When he looked after his sheep, if a lion or a bear came, David found a way to scare them off so that they would leave his sheep alone and he could still keep them safe. At night, he would light a fire to keep anything away from them, from harming them in the night. David was a really good shepherd. But now it was going to come a time for David to move on from being a shepherd. There was a man named Samuel, and Samuel was a prophet of God. He was a messenger to tell people God's words. Samuel came to Jesse, who was David's father. Samuel came to Jesse and told Jesse, the next king of Israel will be one of your sons. Now, when he came to Jesse, he looked at Jesse's son, and there were a few of them sitting there, and he saw one of Jesse's sons named Eliab. Eliab was strong and handsome and muscular. Samuel thought, that's gotta be the next king. He fits the role. But then God told Samuel this.
No, he is not the one. Eliab is handsome, but I don't judge by how someone looks. I care about the heart, how someone thinks and acts.
Well, God had a bigger standard for who he was calling to be king. Samuel looked at all of Jesse's sons. Remember, David had 7 brothers. So Samuel looked at the 7 brothers, and he felt God tell him, none of these are the next king. Samuel got confused, and he was like, Jesse, do you have other sons? Because it's none of these. Well, Jesse thought of David, and he said, you know what? Actually, I do. My youngest son is out in the fields tending to sheep. So they went and got David, and they said, hold off, let's not eat or do anything until David gets here. David arrived, and Samuel knew that was the next king. So Samuel anointed David. He poured oil on David's head, which was a symbol that he was going to be fit to be king. He was going to have what it takes to be king. That was a special touch from God. I'm going to anoint you with oil so that you're ready for this next position. So David comes, they pour oil on his head and let him know he is the next in line to be king. What can we learn from David? One of the things I love so much about David is that he was faithful to the job God gave him. Even though when he was looking after sheep, some could look at that and say, he's a shepherd, and that doesn't have a lot of significance. It's not a good job to have. David owned it. David was like, if God tells me to be a shepherd, I'm going to be the best shepherd there is. So I want you to think about your life today. We're at home, it's summertime. What are some things that you can really do to the best of your ability? If mom or dad tells you to wash the dishes, do you think you can really be a good dishwasher? I think so. If they give you a chore to take out the trash, do you think you can do it without them asking? I think so. If you have certain things that you're doing during summertime, even for school, getting ready for the next school year, or different chores around the house, or anything that you know is a responsibility that sometimes we drag our feet with, do you think you can become a little better at it and push yourself to be like David and be the best at it? I know you can. All you world shakers can be great at anything you put your mind to. Let's be like David. Let's take the position that God gives us and let's do it to the best of our ability and exceed the expectations that our parents may have. Let's be better than they think we can. And one of the other things I want to point out is that the Lord is our shepherd. A shepherd looks after sheep because sheep sometimes wander off. They get lost. They don't know their way. Just like when we're at home and we're washing dishes, or we're taking out trash, or we're cleaning our room, or we're making our bed, and we think about it and we say, why am I doing this? This is a waste of time. This is gonna make you a great world shaker when you're an adult. So just like David, he never underestimated what a shepherd was. Take pride in what you do. If you make your bed, take pride in it. If you clean your room, take pride in it. Feel good that you're doing what it is that's expected of you. And know that even though you don't see that those things, what they're doing for you right now, know that God is our shepherd, and one day God is going to reveal to you all the different parts of your destiny, all the different parts of your purpose, and it's going to make sense why we had to make our bed really well every day, why we had to wash dishes, why we had to do all these things when we were younger, when we were your age. It'll make sense because God is guiding you, okay? So you have to trust that He has a plan and that He's working His plan. He's your shepherd. Never forget, the Lord is your shepherd. Okay, little world shakers, keep changing the world one step at a time. Let's head into this Zoom party and have a blast together.
Hello, it's Tim Storey. I hope you enjoyed the service. If so, subscribe. If not, still subscribe. It's good.